I still tremble when I think about it. 15 minutes, just 15 minutes changed everything I thought I knew about life, love, and eternity. People say love is beautiful, love is healing, love is light, but what I saw in those flames was the dark side of love. A twisted, consuming love that chained souls to torment they could never escape. It wasn't a dream. It wasn't my imagination. I died, if only for a short moment, and what I witnessed in hell tore my soul apart. Before I share what happened to me, I want to pause and say thank you. To every single person watching, listening, and standing with this community, you are the reason stories like mine can be heard. This is more than a channel, it's a family. Every comment, every prayer, every subscription, it matters. You may not realize it, but by simply being here, you are part of something eternal. Your support doesn't just encourage me, it creates a space where lives are changed. So, if you're new here, welcome. You're not here by accident. And to those who've been faithfully walking with us, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You give me the courage to share the most painful and vulnerable moment of my life. But I have to warn you, what I'm about to describe is not easy to hear. It will shake you, it may even scare you. Yet, I pray it will awaken you. Because I only had to endure 15 minutes in hell. But for countless others, 15 minutes is only the beginning of forever. My name is Esther, and before that night, I would have told you I was just an ordinary woman. If you met me in 2018, you'd see me smiling, laughing with friends, maybe even lifting my hands in church on a Sunday. To everyone else, I looked like a Christian woman who had her life together. But behind the mask, I was a mess. I grew up in church. My parents raised me with the Bible, prayer, and strict rules about holiness. But when I hit my 20s, something inside me shifted. I wanted freedom. I wanted to taste life the way my friends lived it. Slowly, I drifted. Church became an obligation, not a passion. Worship became a performance, not an offering. My Bible sat unopened on the shelf, gathering dust. I still believed in God, but in my heart I thought he was distant, too far to notice my little compromises. I told myself, at least I'm not as bad as others. At least I still show up on Sundays. But in secret, I was living another life. I had a boyfriend who wasn't saved, but I told myself it didn't matter because love conquers all. I scrolled through social media late at night, comparing myself to everyone else, jealous of their lives. I battled lust, but instead of resisting it, I entertained it. Nobody knew. On the outside, I was the sweet, church-going girl. On the inside, I was lukewarm, proud, and careless. And honestly, I didn't think much about hell. To me, hell was a word preachers used to scare people. A place for murderers, witches, and really bad people. I didn't see myself there. I thought, I'm not perfect, but God understands. He won't actually let me go to hell. Deep down, though, I feared it. I remember once lying awake at night, heart racing after a sermon about judgment. But I pushed it away, whispering, God is love. Hell is just a metaphor. He wouldn't let that happen to me. Looking back now, I realize that was the devil's greatest lie in my life. He convinced me that sin was small, that compromise was harmless, and that hell was just a story. I lived like that for years, half in the world, half in the church. Smiling in the choir on Sunday, gossiping with friends on Monday. Singing about holiness with my lips, but scrolling through filth with my hands. And all the while, I thought I was fine. If only I knew that one night, just an ordinary night in July 2018, would rip the blindfold from my eyes and show me the reality I had mocked for so long. It was July 14, 2018. I remember because that evening was unbearably hot, and I felt strangely weak all day. I brushed it off, thinking it was stress. I had been working overtime, barely eating properly, living on coffee and little sleep. Around 10:30 p.m., I was alone in my room scrolling through my phone. I should have been sleeping, but instead I was lost in meaningless videos, laughing at jokes, and flirting in text messages with someone who wasn't my boyfriend. My chest felt tight, but I ignored it. Suddenly, a sharp pain stabbed my heart. I dropped the phone and gasped for air. At first, I thought it was just anxiety. But then the room began to spin. I remember whispering, "God, what's happening to me?" before collapsing onto the floor. My body convulsed. My vision blurred. And then, it was as if my spirit was being sucked out of me. I could hear myself screaming, but my voice sounded distant, like an echo underwater. My body lay still on the floor, yet I was hovering above it. I saw my own face twisted in pain, lips turning pale. My hands trembled as if they belonged to a stranger. Panic flooded me. Am I dying? No, this can't be happening. Please, God, not now. Then came the sound. A roaring wind filled the room, so loud it shook me. My ears popped as if I had been thrown into a storm. And beneath the wind, I heard them. Screams. Countless screams, layered on top of one another, rising from somewhere deep below. Men. Women. Young. Old. Their voices carried unimaginable agony. A force, like invisible chains, wrapped around my soul and yanked me downward. I tried to fight, to claw my way back toward the ceiling, toward my body, but the pull was stronger. I sank through the floor. Darkness swallowed me whole. It wasn't silent. The further I fell, the more the screams multiplied, vibrating through my very bones. A stench hit me, sulfur, rotten flesh, something so foul it burned my throat. The air was thick, choking, as if every breath carried death. Shapes flickered in the distance, flames dancing in endless caverns. Shadows twisted and writhed, not like normal shadows, but as if they were alive. And then I realized, they were souls. I landed hard on something rough, jagged ground that cut into my feet. The heat was unbearable, like standing inside a furnace. I tried to cry out, but my voice cracked in terror. Around me, I saw people, countless people. They weren't just screaming, they were reliving their sins. One woman clutched at a shadowy figure, whispering, "But I loved him. I loved him, only for fire to consume them both." A man clawed his face while chains wrapped around his body, his voice echoing, "This is not love. This is not love." I realized, with horror, that what I was witnessing was love twisted into torment. People who lived in lust, obsession, and selfish passion on earth were trapped in a cycle of it, love turned into their punishment. The very desires they worshipped had become their prison. My heart pounded. This can't be real. This can't be real. But no matter how hard I tried to deny it, I knew where I was. I was in hell. And it was only the beginning. I wanted to run, but my legs felt paralyzed, as though invisible hands clutched at my ankles. The ground beneath me pulsed, alive, like burning coals mixed with jagged glass. Each step tore at my feet, but the pain inside my spirit was worse than anything physical. All around me, souls wailed in torment. I had seen pictures of hell in church pamphlets, flames, devils with horns, but what I saw here was far worse. It was structured chaos, torment designed specifically for each soul. To my left, I saw a young woman. Her beauty was striking, even in the flames, but her face twisted with sorrow. She clung desperately to the figure of a man who kept dissolving into ash, only to reappear and fade again. She screamed his name over and over, but he never stayed. Each time he vanished, her cries turned into gut-wrenching sobs. Then the fire consumed them both before the cycle started again. A voice whispered in my ear, chilling me. This is the dark side of love, love without God, love rooted in obsession, desire, and sin. Here, love becomes chains. I staggered back, trembling. My eyes shifted to another pit. Inside, couples who had cheated on their spouses were chained together. They screamed at each other, blaming one another, but they couldn't escape. The very passion they once called love on earth had bound them for eternity in hatred. Their chains rattled as the flames climbed higher, their cries rising like a chorus of despair. I clutched my chest, whispering, "Dear God, I don't belong here. Please, help me. But then came the mocking laughter. Demonic beings, grotesque, distorted figures, moved among the pits. Their skin glowed like molten lava, their eyes hollow and merciless. They mocked the souls, whispering lies. You wanted love, didn't you? You wanted freedom. This is the fruit of your love. Their laughter echoed like glass shattering in my ears. The stench grew stronger, burning flesh, decay, sulfur. Every breath I took made me gag, yet I couldn't die again, couldn't escape. My senses were magnified, forcing me to feel the torment in ways beyond human comprehension. Then, I saw something that froze my heart. A mirror-like surface appeared before me. When I looked, I didn't see fire. I saw myself. My secret sins played out like a film, the lies I told, the lustful thoughts I entertained, the pride I carried into church. Each compromise I excused replayed in brutal clarity. And with each scene, I felt a hand dragging me deeper toward another pit. I screamed, "No. Please. Forgive me." I didn't know. But the truth was, I did know. I had heard sermons. I had read scriptures. I just didn't take them seriously. That realization was the most tormenting of all. Hell wasn't full of people who never heard, it was full of people who thought they had more time. I collapsed to my knees, sobbing. The heat scorched my skin, but the shame burned worse. And then, I felt something slither around my arm. A shadowy figure, serpentine and massive, coiled around me. Its voice hissed. You loved the world more than God. You loved sin more than holiness. Now let your love consume you forever. Its grip tightened. I gasped for air, clawing at the darkness binding me. The screams of the damned grew louder, pressing into my mind until I thought I would lose myself completely. In that moment, hopelessness swallowed me. I thought it was the end. That I would never escape. That I was doomed to spend eternity in the very darkness I had once ignored. But just as the last flicker of hope inside me began to die, something happened. The serpent's coils tightened around me, dragging me closer to the pit that pulsed with flames like a hungry mouth. My screams blended with the cries of others, a sound so haunting I thought it would never end. My mind whispered. This is it. You had your chance. Now it's over. And then, in the middle of that suffocating darkness, a light flickered. At first, I thought it was just my imagination, like when you stare into fire too long and your eyes invent patterns. But the light grew stronger. It wasn't the flicker of flames, it was steady, pure, and alive. It cut through the suffocating smoke like a blade. The demon recoiled. Its grip loosened on my arm, hissing violently as though burned by the glow. I turned my face toward the light, tears streaking down my cheeks. For the first time since I had been dragged down, I felt something other than terror, I felt hope. Then I heard it. A voice. Not thunderous, not harsh. But powerful enough to silence every scream around me. It was both terrifying and tender, like a father calling a lost child. Esther. My name. Spoken with such weight, such love, that it shattered me. No one had ever said my name like that before. It wasn't just sound, it was truth. It was life. I fell flat on my face, trembling. Lord, please, don't let me stay here. Please forgive me. Please, please don't let this be the end. The light grew brighter until it blinded me, and the shadowy serpent released me completely, retreating into the darkness with a shriek. The heat around me lessened, and for a moment I felt a coolness brush my face, like wind from another world. The voice spoke again. Your time has not yet come. But I have allowed you to see this, so you may warn others. Love without me is not love, it is bondage. Sin disguised as love leads here. Go back, and tell them. Go back, and live as though eternity is real. The words pierced my soul. They weren't suggestions. They were a commission. A warning. A lifeline. I wanted to stay in the light, to bask in its purity, but the voice continued. You still have a chance. Do not waste it. When you return, choose holiness. Choose me. The ground beneath me shook violently, as though hell itself was rebelling against my release. Flames surged, demons shrieked, but they couldn't touch me anymore. The light wrapped around me like a shield, lifting me higher and higher. The screams grew faint, the stench of sulfur faded, and for the first time I felt the heavy pull of my body again. With a sudden jolt, I gasped, and my eyes shot open. I was lying on the cold floor of my bedroom. My chest ached. My throat burned. Sweat drenched me as though I had been in a furnace. I coughed violently, dragging air into my lungs like it was the first breath I had ever taken. I was alive. But I would never be the same. When I opened my eyes that night, I was not the same woman who had collapsed on the floor. Something in me had died in that pit, and something new had awakened with my return. For days after, I could barely speak about what I had seen. Every time I closed my eyes, I heard the screams, smelled the burning, and remembered the twisted faces of those trapped in torment. It haunted me. I couldn't eat. I couldn't laugh. I couldn't pretend anymore. The first thing I did was fall to my knees and cry out for mercy. Not the shallow prayers I had prayed before, but real repentance. I poured out every hidden sin, every compromise, every excuse I had ever made. I told God, whatever time I have left, it belongs to you. My boyfriend, who wasn't saved, didn't understand. When I told him I couldn't continue living in sin, he mocked me and said, "You're taking this too seriously." But for me, eternity was too serious to play with. I ended the relationship, even though it hurt. I returned to church, but this time not for appearances. I opened my Bible daily, trembling at the verses I once ignored. I forgave people I had held grudges against for years. I started sharing my testimony with anyone who would listen, even if they laughed or rolled their eyes. I was no longer interested in fitting into the world. I wanted to live holy, to live ready. Because I knew, hell is real, and heaven is too. And love without God is a chain that drags you straight into darkness. That night marked the death of lukewarm Esther. From then on, my life became a warning sign. My friend, please listen to me. I spent only 15 minutes in hell, but it felt like an eternity. If I had not been given mercy, I would still be there now, screaming with no hope of escape. Hell is not a story. It is not a metaphor. It is real, and it is forever. Sin may look like love, but without God it will destroy you. Don't wait until it's too late. As the voice told me, love without me is not love, it is bondage. Choose him now. Choose life. Choose holiness. Do you believe hell is real? Do you believe love without God can lead to destruction? I want to hear your thoughts. Please, share your experiences, your questions, or even your prayers in the comments below. Your words might touch someone else's life. If this story moved you, don't keep it to yourself, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Thank you for walking with me through this painful but life-changing testimony. May God keep you safe, may His love guide you, and until next time, stay watchful, stay ready. Eternity is closer than you think.